Evening YouTube. So I'm home alone again tonight. My missus has gone to see her mum. So I've got the house to myself, and as you can see I've got the £15 charity shop special sitting on the table. So I thought I'd do something a bit different tonight, so I'm doing a battle. So tonight we have got the £15 charity shop special up against the Pioneer AX910. So it'd be really interesting, this one, to find out which one of these two sounds the best. No, I'm only joking. I'm not really doing that. I don't think that would be fair, would it? That would be like putting Mike Tyson in his heyday up against Elon Musk. No, I'm only joking. I'm not really doing that. I'm just doing my first test with the Ariston. So I've got the solid speakers connected up to it, and I've got my Arcam CD player plugged in the back. So where do you start with this one? Because I need to be a bit diplomatic in it, because you got to think I've got some fantastic sounding amps and receivers, and this one only costs £15. And I've looked on eBay, one of these is cheap as chips to buy, so you got to kind of look at it like that. And this one is, because I've looked it up, it's a Cambridge Audio, basically. So it's a Cambridge Audio A1 amplifier, rebadged and sold by Ariston. And that Cambridge Audio A1, that is cheap as chips. That is not an expensive amplifier. So this one I've got sitting on the table tonight is about as budget as you can get. And when you look at it like that, it isn't actually that bad. When it comes to budget amplifiers, you could do a lot worse than this one, you really could. Because I thought tonight, I put it on and I wasn't expecting much, and I put in Shuckademus and Pliers, push play, and then I was sitting there listening to it, and I even turned it up a little bit, and I was thinking, you know what, that doesn't actually sound that bad. So I would say that a little bit of effort has been put into this one to make it sort of sound okay. Because when it comes to this right budget gear, some companies put no effort in whatsoever. They just make it and launch it, and then when you listen to it, it sounds terrible. But this one doesn't really, so I would say a little bit of effort's been put into this. Whereas a lot of them other ones, I can't listen to them. They sound so bad that they really, you can't enjoy listening to them. They are just rubbish. But this one's not like that. And I've been happy enough sitting here tonight listening to it. So when I first put it on, I had a few rum and cokes and was playing Shuckademus and Pliers. Yeah, and it was sounding alright. But I was sitting here thinking maybe this is not that good a test for this amplifier, because I've got these Bowers and Wilkins solid speakers on it, which these speakers are quite expensive for their size, and I've got an Arcam Alpha Plus CD player plugged in the back of it. That CD player is quite expensive. So in the real world, you're not going to have these speakers and this CD player and be buying this little Ariston amp, are you? It's just not happening, is it? If you've spent enough money on a CD player, you're going to do a little bit of money on an amp. So then I was thinking, should I get down the old £10 charity shop Sony speakers and whack them on it and see what they sound like? But then I thought, but I'm still putting a load of money's worth of CD player into it, and so that got me thinking, and I thought, right, with an amplifier like this, I need to do a real budget little system. I need to try and get a really cheap CD player, plug it in the back and then put them Sony speakers on it and do like the ultimate budget system to see what that sounds like. Because like I said tonight, this amp is actually sounding alright. It is sounding quite good actually for what it is. But the CD player's probably helping it out because that is a real decent CD player. And these speakers are probably helping it out because these speakers are quality. And I'm just going to show you this, right? Look, surely that should have lights that tell you what you're on because there's nothing. When I change that to like CD tuner, surely it should have a little red light there because this thing's got nothing on it except that little tiny red power light there. Surely it should have some other lights on it. I don't know, and I couldn't find that out. So if you've got one of these, or the Cambridge Audio A1, if the front should light up, can you let me know, please? Because surely it should have more lights on it than just that little tiny red power light. So I'm not sure if mine has got like the light's not working or it just hasn't got any. Because it is a bit basic, this one. It hasn't got an headphone socket. It hasn't even got a loudness button on it. So it is not exactly packed with features. So I've been playing through this lot here tonight. So I've had a bit of Bob Dylan, Shaka Demus, a bit of Lauryn Hill, Bob Dylan. I haven't had that Katie Tunstall yet. I've had a bit of Peggy Lee and I've had a bit of Florence and the Machine. And Florence and the Machine was quite good for it actually, because I really thought that was going to like mess it up and make it sound bad. But it didn't. It sounded good, Florence and the Machine. Well, good for a £15 amplifier. Let's not get carried away here. So I've had a bit of Lauryn Hill in it tonight. That sounded alright. She was singing away nicely through the old Ariston. And I had that on while I went out in the kitchen and made myself something to eat. So I turned it up so I could hear it while I was in the kitchen. And I was quite surprised how much power it seems to have in it. I think it's 35 watts per channel, this little Ariston. But it was loud enough. I cranked it up and it still sounded alright when it was turned up a bit. Now it might have been these Bowers and Wilkins helping it out a little bit there, but it was sounding alright. So after I'd done myself something to eat, I came back in here, poured myself another rum and coke and thought, right, let's try and make it sound bad. So I put on that Blues Brothers CD that you can see up there, because that's got a few tracks on it that can catch things out. One of which is Cab Calloway, Minnie the Moocher. So I pressed play on that track and turned it up a little bit because I thought this is going to sound bad. But then it didn't. I was really enjoying it. I was sitting back on the sofa, yeah, I was quite happy. I was rocking away to Minnie the Moocher. Then I had Everybody Needs Somebody. And same again, it sounded alright. I was quite happy sitting back listening to it. Then I had Sweet Home Chicago, the theme from Peter Gunn. Yeah, it was all going on. And every track, oh, it was sounding okay. It really was. I was like, you can tell this thing's made by Cambridge Audio. That's what I was thinking. It sounds like a Cambridge Audio. Any of you got that Cambridge Audio amplifiers and that, you know what they sound like. They've got that Cambridge Audio sound, and this has got it. It does sound like a Cambridge Audio. Well, it would, wouldn't it? It is a Cambridge Audio at the end of the day. So I was quite happy with the sound of it. I was just finding it a bit boring, because there's not a lot going on with it, and I do like a nice amp or receiver sitting on my table that I can have a little play around with, and it's really good fun to use. But this one's not like that. There's not a lot going on with it. But I discovered a way round that. All you need to do is stand it on top of a Pioneer SX750, and then you can play around with all these lovely switches and that while listening to the Cambridge audio, and you won't get bored. 'Cause it's just not very exciting, this Ariston. Moving like the treble and that, there's no excitement in none of it. It's just not doing anything for me. But, gotta say it again, it was only £15. So I can't really mug it off, can I? 'Cause it is cheap as chips, and at the end of the day tonight I've been quite enjoying listening to this. I haven't been thinking, oh, I can't listen to that, I've got to turn it off. Not at all. I've been quite happy listening to this, and I've been sitting here thinking, I wonder what speakers would really work on it, 'cause like I said, it has got a little bit of power in it. So maybe a much bigger speaker with a big driver in it, you might get this little Ariston pumping, so it'd be interesting to find that one out. So I'll do it another day. Maybe them Kef Cantars might work well on this. They might get a really good sound out of it. They might not, it might sound terrible, but I will try 'em on it. But I do need to get a cheap CD player in it, 'cause like I said, I found that in the charity shop, £15. I've got a set of Sony speakers up there, them light wood ones. They was from a charity shop, cost me a tenner. So I need to find a CD player in a charity shop, don't I, for like 10 or 15 quid. And then it'll be like a 35 or £40 system, and we'll see what that sounds like. So I'm going to do that. I should be on the hunt now for a right cheap CD player from the charity shop. 'Cause I do see 'em now and again. CD player in the charity shop, 10 quid, 15 quid, something like that. But I normally look at it, look at the back of that, and I think, oh, I don't really want that. But now I've got this Ariston and the little charity shop speakers. If I see something like that in the charity shop or in cash converters, I shall buy it, 'cause it'd be good, wouldn't it? Put like a £35 system together and see what it sounds like. The ultimate budget system. I won't do it like from eBay, 'cause it's too easy to cheat, and then I'd be like a load of other channels where they say, oh, I went on eBay today and I bought this musical fidelity CD player for £1.62. When you know they didn't, they paid about 300 quid for it. Or they do the other one, innit? They get a lovely old vintage receiver and say they got it for like £40. And you think, no, you didn't, mate. You paid at least 150, 200 quid for that. And you might have got away with saying that 10 years ago, but not now, 'cause there is too many people on the computer hunting down this stuff, looking for a bargain. So if something is on there for a low price, trust me, a load of other people will find it. And just take like that big Harman Kardon I bought the other day. I found that it had been listed for 6 hours when I found it. It already had like 48 or 45 watchers, something like that. So it had been on the computer 6 hours and 50 other people had found it. So the days of getting something in an eBay auction for like 30 or 40 pounds when it is actually worth like 150, 200 quid, them days are long gone. But there's still a lot of people who make channels that think they can get away with that. Now, I don't want to be like one of them channels, so I'll wait till I find something in a charity shop or cash converters or something, then it'll have a price sticker on it. And then we'll do it, the ultimate budget system, with the Ariston, the Sony speakers, and whatever CD player that I find. Or we could just do it now, and then I will be like one of them other channels, 'cause all I've got to do is change the wires over on the speakers and plug the CD player into the back of the Pioneer, and then I can do the ultimate budget system now, 'cause I can say I got them solid speakers on eBay for £8. I got an Arcam Alpha plus CD player on eBay for 12 quid, and I bought a Pioneer SX750 for a fiver. So that will be the £25 ultimate budget system. And I'll tell you what, I bet it's got an absolutely fantastic sound for 25 quid. So let's get back to the Ariston AX910. So tonight, yeah, I've been happy enough listening to it. Now, it's not high-end, and it's not an audiophile amp, but if you haven't got much money, and you just want to play some tunes, I don't think this is that bad for that. I think you could do a lot worse than this one. Like, if you really spent a little amount of money, I do think you could do a lot worse than this thing. Because it is doing everything. Nothing is terrible. The bass is alright on it. The top end ain't too bad on it. It is doing it all. It's just doing it all at a lower level than something that's more high end. But you'd expect that because this thing is right budget. And the other thing I might try with this one is whack the old TV into the back of it and see what it sounds like with the TV running through it. Like, put a little set of speakers on it, plug the old telly in, and then see what it sounds like. Because I bet it sounds a lot better than a lot of them little rubbish soundbars that people do a load of money on. Them things sound terrible. So I bet this little amp, you put a little set of speakers on it, plug the old telly in, get the games console running through it or something, and I bet this one sounds a lot better than one of them terrible sounding little sound bars. So thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and I shall see you next time.